So, want to make a video here about why Christian apologists don't want solutions to debates, especially the debate between the Calvinist and the Pelagian milieu of debate. The first thing we have to understand is that Christian apologists are paid to debate. So they have every vested interest to keep the debates going. Because if the debates stop, they're out of a job. It's very important to understand this about men. Thomas Jefferson talked about this in his letters to John Adams about the Christian clergy. And the point has really been pronounced to me getting back into the Calvinism-Pelagianism debate and listening to Leighton Flowers like I have to do for hours every day. Ridiculous. The complete end to this debate is very easy. The doctrine of natural law theory in Western jurisprudence, which informs the entire Christian religion, it's wrong. The Bible, its system of ethics and law is might makes right, and most of the law system in the Bible is just God's arbitrary opinions. The second matter is the doctrine of eternal hell. I have to listen to this just over and over again, almost every single video, when you are dealing with the Calvinism-Pelagianism debate. The doctrine of eternal hell is paramount in almost every single video. I've probably seen this from Leighton Flowers over 50 times in his videos. And then all the people that he has on featured in his videos are saying the same thing. Just over and over and over and over and over again. And the only person on the Calvinist Reformed theology, doctrines of grace side that actually suggests a solution, myself, being annihilationism. Well, has anyone considered annihilationism as being a solution to this problem? And it's like, I haven't even heard Leighton Flowers say, maybe I'd warm up to this theology if you guys adopted annihilationism. He won't mention, because he doesn't want a solution. They want to keep the confusion inflamed. They want to keep the emotions inflamed, the confusion inflamed, and just to make it look like both sides are being obstinate and dishonest, and just to keep the hatred and the conflict up, because they get paid for that. That's what they get paid for. They get paid to debate. Leighton Flowers and all these Christian apologists involved with this. James White, I actually heard him have a debate over annihilationism back in 2012. He got wrecked, brutally wrecked. It was by this some Christian couple. I can't remember what their names were. He debated both of them at the same time. It was kind of more like an informal conversation. He got brutally wrecked. All it was a bunch of Catholic imperious intimidation tactics that they were using, or that James was using. And they destroyed him. And I'm like, what? No one wants to present annihilationism as a solution to this debacle. Why? Christian apologists want the debates to keep going because that's how they get paid. They get paid to debate. So if solutions were offered to this great controversy, then they would lose their career. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. And like Leighton Flowers, same thing. Neither James White or Leighton Flowers has ever suggested annihilationism as being a solution to this problem. Neither one. And, I've asked over and over again for, when was this done during the Reformation, this debate on eternal hell and annihilationism? When was it done? Just blocked, censored, get off our server, get off our X channel, get off our YouTube channel. That's all it is. That's all I ever hear. And these, this step and fetch for the church fathers. All these what did the church fathers teach about free will and grace? I come in the conversation. These Calvinists can't, it's just disgusting twisting of the early church fathers by the Calvinists. And, it's just like, well, what did the church fathers teach about perennialism, which is condemned in 1 Corinthians 1 and 2? What did the church fathers teach about the pagan doctrine, Hermetic doctrine of apotheosis? What did the church fathers teach about angelic celibacy? They don't want to talk about that. Nobody wants to talk about it. Eliminate. These are the big obstacles that we have in this conversation. Natural law theory, the church fathers, eternal hell. Those are fundamentally the main issues involved with Calvinism, Pelagianism debate. Nobody but me brings up those issues as a solution. Reject the church fathers. Annihilationism. Might makes right. That will solve it. All the conversation. All the conflicts. They don't want it. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to bring up solutions to problems because everyone's trying to get paid to debate. And, money is, like Paul says, the root of all evil. The love of money, at least. And that is true. No truer words have ever been spoken. I'd like to get real visceral right now, but it's I'll just say just most men in the world are a bunch of ass-kissing sellouts. And that's I would use a much more visceral term, but that's, I'll try to keep it PG-13 here on YouTube. Really like to put some teeth to that. It's terrible. It's awful what's happened in the world. Just men, just completely betraying God, their country, everyone, just so they can have a sniff of peace leave and a comfortable life, dude. Oh my goodness. Oh goodness. The amount of grief and terror that goes on in this world because of men's worship of peace leave. And of course, the reason why they want the money, they sell out for the money so they can get a woman. And, don't even get me started on this, dude. They're human beings are just like God said in Genesis chapter 6. It grieved the Lord that he had made man. Repented the Lord that he had made man, and it grieved him at his heart. Just observing what goes on in these debates. Leighton Flowers, the Calvinist worldview has such a dark, sinister view of human beings, and it just devalues them. Yeah, how long have you lived in this world, man? How long have you been watching men do what they do? Just watching these debates, you can click. They are omitting huge points, because they know that if they tell the truth, they're going to lose their money, and when they lose their money, they're going to lose their woman, and that's what all this is about. Men worship women from the very beginning. That has been the problem with Adam and Eve, Shawa. It's terrible. So this is why men who are engaged in apologetics do not care to provide solutions to the debate. They want to focus on their strongest arguments and ignore their opponent's strongest arguments, and then once the conflict is inflamed and solutions are offered, censor those solutions. Censor them. Anyone who has any actual solutions to this, censor them. Blocked, censored, shadow banned. Because we have to believe that there's been this unbroken line of men with like glowing eyes who never sold out, just completely mythological historiography that's nowhere in the Bible. Just men, they have to have that stuff. I don't understand. I don't get it. Why men are so addicted to that historiography. It's ridiculous. So, this is why Christian apologists do not provide solutions to these problems. And, someone may object, well, Drake, be realistic. I mean, if what you're saying is a solution, but it's so politically incorrect. For a long time, I mean, Drake, if we start telling people that fairness means what the Bible means, and it does not mean equality of opportunity, that goes against every political movement in the country. I mean, that's pretty radical. To reject the church fathers, to accept annihilationism. I mean, Drake, this is such a radical break from history. And again, number one, philosophy does not begin with historiography, which I know all you Christians believe in. You do everything you can to circumvent epistemology and replace history and politics, number one. And then you go to your metaphysics. And then you go to your ethics. That's the way Christians operate. It's not philosophy. Philosophy begins with epistemology, ontology, ethics, and then politics and historiography. Christians just circumvent the whole thing. History and politics goes first. What you're saying has to be in line with a great tradition. You can't be a sectarian. Because we begin with these views of Catholic views of unity and the visible church. That's the way everything begins with historiography and politics first. I'm sorry, that's not philosophy. Philosophy begins with epistemology. Historiography and politics are last, not first. Shit, dude. Now, at least, Florovsky, Vlachos, Romanides, they'll actually be honest about this and admit that they're not doing philosophy. What Christianity is not a rational philosophy. It's an existential experience. That's what Christianity is supposed to be. They're honest about that. Most Christians are not. They want you to, they want to rationally critique everything that I say, but then they don't want rationality to apply to anything that they teach. It's so disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. So this is why Christian apologists do not offer solutions to problems. They want to keep the debates going, because if the debates cease, they're out of a career. They're going to have to actually earn a living for themselves. Disgusting. Southern Israelite out. Hit that donation link in the description. Go to my platform website, southernprotestant.com.